Hi guys. Okay, so let's get started. Uh, First of all, if you have some doubt, guys, any general questions or any doubt you have, I'll try to take that at the end of the class today. But going forward, like when the coding will start, we'll make a habit that every day we'll start taking a class in the beginning itself also, or at the end also. Okay, so don't worry about it. And I mentioned yesterday also, guys, no need to worry about timing. You will have enough space for everything. Okay, so let's get started. Now, first of all, the first thing is, what is our agenda for today's session? Guys, our agenda for the today's session is, I'm going to talk about, first of all, what all things we require in our laptop to start doing this React coding. Plus, apart from that, I'm going to talk about something in terms of what is React. And I'll help you with one more thing, that basically to set up the React application in your laptop. Okay. So this is ultimately the three things which I like to cover today. And obviously your doubts also at the end. Okay. So 1 second. Guys, as I mentioned, sorry. As I mentioned yesterday, so just like any other batch, I'm going to make a one folder by this particular batch name also. I'll go in the February and I'll make a new folder by the name of React Evening, February React Evening 23. Okay, fine. And today, guys, I recommend one thing. No need to try anything parallelly with me. And what's the reason for that? I'll tell you. See, guys, if you will try right now parallelly with me, correct? You might face some problem. And suppose we're doing get some problem. I'm able to solve the problem on my screen, but you have not seen the solution. Why? Because you were busy on your screen. I recommend everyone, guys, just 1 hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever the time of the class will be. Please try just to listen to me carefully. Just see what I'm doing. Anyways, guys, I'll give each step to you step by step in a notes. Plus, apart from that, I will provide you all the recording of the sessions also. You'll not get any trouble. Okay. The only thing is right now, just concentrate on the class and try to just listen to me carefully. And after the class, try everything. If something is not working, you are most welcome. Tomorrow you ask your doubt, I'll answer every single questions. Okay. Fine. So guys, I make this folder by this particular batch name. Now, the first thing is that, what is the very first thing we require in our laptop? Guys, the first thing that you require in your laptop is basically text editor. What is text editor? Guys, text editor is a place where we write our code. Now, which text editor we should use? I'll tell you one thing, guys. There is no such restriction that which text editor to be used. Why so? This text editor is never a constraint for a developer. Basically, text editor is never a constraint for a developer. It's just like that, guys. If you are a painter, okay, and you know painting, if I give you white paper, you will use a black pen for that. And if I give you black paper, you will use a white pen for that. So more or less in terms of, I can say one thing, if you know painting, paper is not a problem for you, right? I'll tell you one thing, guys, even mindset in a market, people say, okay, for Java, you have to use the Eclipse. For a .NET, you have to use the Visual Studio. For Python, you have the PyCharm. Guys, I'll tell you one thing. I have done the coding of a Java also. I have done the coding of a Python also. I know one thing, guys, I've done Java coding just on simple Notepad, not even Notepad++. On simple Notepad, I have showed people how to compile Java code. So remember one thing, guys, in life, learn the thing in such a way that you're not dependent upon anything. You can build everything of your own. Once you start doing this kind of coding, you'll never be dependent on that. But obviously, guys, we have to make one symmetry that everybody should follow one thing and we'll go according to market trend. Guys, these days for a JavaScript framework, whether it be a React, whether it be Angular, whether it be a Nodejs or your I'll say any framework like Vue or any framework we'll talk about, what people are using is called as Visual Studio Code. Okay. Visual Studio Code is something, guys, that people use as their text editor. There is specific reason for that? No such specific reason for that. But obviously it give a good IntelliSense. When we say IntelliSense, it in terms of, I can say some suggestions while writing a code, right? And the best part is that the whole market is using it. So you will not feel something different in the real time when you go in our offices also. So better to use what market use. And the one thing that people are using right now is the Visual Studio Code. It's quite easy to use. And in a company also, guys, you are going to use it. And in this batch also, I'm going to use the Visual Studio Code. Okay. So first of all, you have to simply go to this particular URL. And from this URL, you just take out this link and simply download the particular text, say, according to your window, Mac, whatever you're using. According to that, simply download that particularly your Visual Studio Code. And simply do next, and it will be installed. There's nothing to be done very specifically for that. Once the Visual Studio Code got installed, then at that time, what we'll do? How it will look like, guys. First of all, let me show you guys. The new window of the Visual Studio Code will look something like this. The new window of the Visual Studio Code will look something like this. Here, click on open. And particularly here, you simply go to select the folder you want to open. I want to open the folder which I just created, February React Evening, and I'll open this folder. So once I open this folder, it will look something like this. I click on open, select the folder. Okay, there's nothing in the folder right now, guys. Okay. Now, first of all, to create a new file, you see this icon, you click on that. It helps you to create a new file. You click on this, it helps you to create the new folder. First of all, I click on this button and I write here extra. This is, guys, first file I'll create which act like a class notes. Whatever the notes in the class, whatever the links I have to share, whatever things I have to share with you is a theory I will try to write in this file. Okay. So very first thing is, guys, everybody have to install the Visual Studio Code in their laptop. If you already have, no need to do that again. It's sorted. So first thing is a Visual Studio Code. Second thing, guys, that we require is the GitHub account. Guys, everybody need to have their GitHub account. Guys, if you don't have a GitHub account, create it. If you already have, use it. Why it is important, guys? Very important. Guys, I mentioned yesterday that I am from electronics and communication background. I have never done a coding in my life, right? When I was in a BTech. But you know one thing, I'm not from IIT and IIT, no, nothing like that. But the best part to mention here, guys, I have got the call from each and every big company. You tell me the name of the company: Amazon, Facebook, Flipkart, Google, LinkedIn. You just take the name of the company and I can show you their interview invites. And how many of them I have cleared, that's a different story. But ultimately, I have got the call from each and every bigger company, whichever name you take. Now, the point which I want to mention here, why I'm not doing any kind of a flaunting here. Okay. Just to mention one thing here, guys. How I get all these things. When I ask the recruiter, people say, "Na, or a Facebook call only IIT people or people from outside the India." No, it's nothing like that. Guys, it all depend upon your profile and public appearance. The point is like that when I ask a recruiter how you find me, guys, simple answer was there. That is through your GitHub. As I mentioned, guys, I'm a top 50 developers of India. Now, and because of my GitHub ranking is so high right now in India, so ultimately people are able to search me better. So point is like that, guys, the GitHub plays a very important role. And second thing, forget about job. Guys, I'll tell you second thing. No company in the world is there in IT industry which is not using a flavor of GitHub. There's a GitHub or Bitbucket, something they must be using. So guys, GitHub is a very important part for any developer who are going to work in the IT industry. First of all, guys, everybody have to create the account on the GitHub. The first thing is that. Okay. Create account, sign up, and it's free. How to use GitHub? And guys, I'll try that everyone's GitHub profile should look something like this. Okay. Everyone's GitHub profile should look something like this. Now, next thing. So on the other side, here, if you see guys, this is how the sign up. In simply go to github.com and sign up there. First thing is that. Second thing is, once you sign up, guys, basically you have to follow one account, and that is only during this particular class. Only during this particular class. So here guys, simply go to this link. Under this, you find a button called follow. Only follow during the batch. After the batch over, you can unfollow, no problem. Because I have to share a lot of things with you, it will be easy for me. Okay, so everybody have to follow this link. Guys, the fourth thing that we require in our laptop is Node.js. We have to install the Node.js in our laptop. And that too, which is the latest version, 18.13, the best version to use. So if you already have any Node.js above 14 or above 14, that's fine. If your Node.js version is below 14, then install the latest one. But anyone who have a laptop with a 14 or above 14, that's fine. You have to install the Node.js in your laptop. Simply again go to Node.js, click on 18.13, simply download it and do next, and simply install that. So you need to have the Node.js also in your laptop. Now you ask me, do we have to learn Node.js? No, guys, you don't have to learn Node.js. Then why we require Node.js? Guys, one thing is there. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. You must have heard these words: Apache, Tomcat, IIS, XAMPP, WAMP. What is that? Guys, if anyone is from a Java background, you must heard the word called Apache and Tomcat. What is that? Guys, Apache and Tomcat is a server over which your code, Java code compile. Okay. Similarly, IIS is a server over which your .NET code run. XAMPP or WAMP is a server over which your PHP code run. So where the JavaScript will compile, where the JavaScript frameworks will compile, guys, that is called Node.js. Node.js is basically a framework and also provide the server. Any JavaScript framework you are using, React, Angular, Vue, Knockout, Ember, any JavaScript framework you're using, guys, the code of the JavaScript will compile over your Node.js. So Node.js have to be there in the system, and the best part is that, guys, only at the time of development, the Node.js there, it should be there in the system. Once the development is complete, now you'll say, okay, I want to run the React application over the Apache or the Tomcat or the Python or the PHP server, XAMPP, WAMP. Can I do that? Yes, you can do that. For Python also, I'll teach you how to know Python, and then rest all technologies you can try. You can run your React application over any server you want, but at the time of development, we require Node.js to be there. So going forward in an interview also, somebody asks you where the JavaScript code compile, basically say React code compile, say first it compile over the Node.js server and then it is executed by a browser. Okay. So Node.js there should be there in your laptop. And the fifth thing, guys, that we require is called Git bash. Git bash. Now, Git bash is particularly one tool to interact with the GitHub. Guys, Git bash is a tool that is required to interact with the GitHub. GitHub is the website. Okay. GitHub is the website. But to push the code, pull the code, clone the code, you need one software in your laptop. And the software that you have to install in your laptop is basically Git bash. Git bash to be installed in your laptop, and GitHub is a website through which you interact. These are the only 5 things you require in your laptop to start ultimately your journey of, I'll say, React. Okay. Why we need git bash if you have VS Code? But if VS Code is for writing a code, git bash is basically for interacting with Git. Okay? Two different stories. Fine, guys. Now raise hand if anybody have any question in this 5 link. Any other question like how was the duration and what is that? What is that? Prajwal, what I just mentioned, buddy. Focus on doing the native coding. Do not run behind the shortcuts. Learn the coding, not the shortcuts. The more shortcuts you will take, more easily you will fall in the on the ground, buddy. So it's better to follow the proper things rather than a shortcut. There's a lot of shortcut. You don't even write a single line of a code. Go to GitHub and download the React code. Why we are learning React? But the more shortcut you will follow, the more problem you will be created for yourself. Okay, so learn properly. Anyways, how we interact a VS code with a GitHub, that also I'll teach you. Okay, guys, any general question, prerequisite, syllabus, this and that I'll take at the end of the class. Right now, anyone, any question in these 5 things, first take that. All general question at the end. Can we use GitHub desktop for install git bash? You can use that. Raise hand if anybody have any question in these 5 things. Okay, look like sorted. Okay, perfect. Now, next thing, guys. Yesterday, I was showing you some course content, correct? Obviously, guys, you need that course content. So what I'm doing is now I'll put this whole course content at this particular place itself. So that, guys, we have proper track that what is done, what is not done, and anytime you need to check, you can easily check from here. So what I'll do is, just one, I'll take it out 1 minute. I'll put this whole course content here. And guys, don't worry, whatever these things I'm writing, I'll provide you the link of this one GitHub repository where you have access to all this content, and that too for lifetime access. Okay. Someone asking in a doubt. Just one, I think you're asking something, right? If I not read the name properly, actually. Starting with J. Who's that? Raise hand once again. Okay. Jashwani. Yes. Go ahead, please. What are you asking? Jashwani Shah, you're asking something? Just go ahead. Okay, not sure. Yeah, Sushil, go ahead, please.
Yes, I just want to know that sir, every web page that we have to make, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, the web page we have to make, we have to use some template, or simply we make a web page with the help of coding only.
Coding only. First of all, we learn everything by coding.
Okay, and then problem that I'm facing, like the page do not become responsive in that case.
Don't worry, we are covering a bootstrap in this course. With that, you can make it responsive.
Okay. The different type of things like that we can use in a web page. If I collaborate them, all the things. So then the problem.
We'll make a simple HTML design with a CSS. We make it responsive, and then we consume that in React. Every step by step we'll learn.
Okay.
Now, guys, this is a course content. You can walk yourself through this content. If anything is not clear at the end of the class, you can ask me again. Okay, not a problem. Now, guys, when we were talking about this thing in terms of like a setup, okay, there are a few more things are there called extensions. Some extensions we need to add in our Visual Studio Code. I will talk about that later on. Okay, might be tomorrow. Okay, we'll talk about extensions, might be tomorrow. First of all, set up these things. And guys, make a habit from today itself. Whatever we are covering today, suppose I ask you to set up this thing today. Guys, if you really want to learn, if you really want to become perfect, you just follow what pattern I'm telling you. आप उतना भी follow कर लोगे ना, if you guys are able to follow that much thing, okay, what I am teaching, that is more than sufficient for anything there. Okay. Now, I'll come to next thing, guys. First of all, here, yesterday we discussed one thing, that React is basically used on the front end, correct? Now, the point is we have to understand one thing, guys. What is React? Let's talk about what is React. Now, I'll add a simple definition and explain you what the React is right now. We'll say, and guys, I know many of you have came after watching the YouTube video. This is very common thing, right? And nothing to no harm and nothing to shut. Obviously, guys, everybody tried by themselves, right? So you must have came after watching some YouTube video. Now, after 5-6 days, you will able to differentiate your YouTube video and this particular course. Okay. So you hold your horses, hold your knowledge, whatever you watch in the YouTube, and wait for at least 5-6 days, and we'll discuss again with you. Okay, fine. Now, when we talk about React, we'll say React is a front end. If you read the definition at other some places, it says some places a front end library / I write framework. Now, the very first question come to mind is what is the difference in the library versus framework? I'll talk about that. Okay, we'll say React is a front end library of framework which help to build single page application using component based structure. Guys, React is a front-end library or framework which help to build single page application using component based structure. Now, there are 2-3 points to understand. Each line have a different things, guys, to understand. Okay, please listen carefully. The first point come to mind is library versus framework, right? Now, what is that? Obviously, guys, a lot of you want to ask this question, right? I'll tell you one thing, guys. So you can say library is a smaller unit. Okay, as example, if I say you have a kilometer and miles, okay, somebody say I travel 1.4 miles, and somebody say I travel 1 kilometer. Correct. Now, if I ask you, what is the difference? You travel a mile or you travel a kilometer. What is the difference? Guys, difference is terms of unit. One is measuring a distance in a mile and one is measuring a distance in the kilometer. Correct. It's kind of a similar thing that came in terms of library versus framework. You can say framework is a bigger word and a library is a smaller word. Okay. Framework is a bigger word, library is a smaller word. When the React was initially introduced in 2016, okay, at that point of time, it's very small actually. Okay, it's not as big as it is now. It's very small. So we start calling them as a library. Now, one more thing, guys, one more point here is library is something which can be directly included in the HTML page and can be used anywhere. So earlier it was a case for a React. So what the React was doing, guys, you can simply include like a script tag in the HTML page and start using it. But now it is not like that. It is a proper structure it create, and it's proper structure you write, the proper application. So in short, I can say, guys, you call it a library or call it a framework does not matter here. Just treat in a way. Earlier it was a small, we keep calling them library, but now it become a very big, so it come in the category of framework. So framework is a bigger unit that which have a lot of things of its own, which you don't have to install from outside, and you cannot that now. The React is something in terms of, guys, you cannot directly include in the HTML file. You have to follow proper structure of the React only to write the React application. Okay. Now, the second word which is in the first line is basically your front end. Front end means, guys, display part of the application, right? Okay. Now we'll come to second line of this definition. We'll say it helps to create single page application. Now, what do you mean by single page application? Let's talk about that. Okay. Guys, notice 2-3 things here. I'm showing you an application. Okay. Now, this is one food delivery app, which we are also going to make during this course only. I click on lunch. I click on Ama Cafe. I click on add item and proceed. Okay. This is what we are going to learn. Now, let's open any real application. Say Flipkart. Flipkart is, guys, almost every one of us use. Okay. In this Flipkart, again, let's get load properly. I click on the hair dryer. I select any particular op, say company from hair dryer. I go to the men's. I choose the t-shirts. Okay. Everything is working. Okay. Now let's open any other website, say Amazon. Okay. Now notice one thing, guys, in these applications. In every, I'm not sure, have you ever noticed this thing or not? But you know one thing, guys, in almost every application, there are two things are there. One is called as the header and one is called as the footer. Okay. Examples about this is my web page. Okay. In this web page, we have one header and one footer. Guys, header and footer basically is something in the terms of is a common across the application. Guys, header and footer is something which is common across the application. Now notice one thing, guys. Let's go to Amazon, guys. See, this is the header of the Amazon and this is the footer of the Amazon. Okay. Let's go to Flipkart. This is a header of the Flipkart. This is the footer of the Flipkart. Now try to go to homepage of Flipkart. Again, this is a header of the Flipkart. This is a footer of the Flipkart. Suppose I go to the application which you're going to make. This is a header of the application. This is a footer of the application. Suppose I go to other page, same header and same footer. Guys, basically in the applications, what happened? We have a same header and same footer across the application. Only the content between the header and footer will keep on changing. Header and footer remain the common, but the content will keep on changing. This particular structure is called as the layout page. Okay. This particular structure is basically referred as the layout page. Now, other thing to notice, guys, which is very important here. Now, notice one thing, guys. When I go to home, the content change between header and footer, but the page does not refresh. I click on lunch. There's a content change, but the page does not refresh. I click on suppose Chandni Chowk. The page does not refresh, but the content got changed. Okay. Let's go to Flipkart. I click on the fashion. I click on men's t-shirt. The content got changed, but the page does not refresh. Suppose I click here a pattern in terms of color block. The page got refreshed. So the content got changed, but the page does not refresh. So the point is like that, what is happening is what refer as the single page application. In a single page application, guys, what structure they follow? The structure they follow is they make one, first of all, page called as the layout page. Okay. This refers as a layout page which have one header on the top and a footer at the bottom. Now, all other pages will act like a one component. All other pages will act like a one component. Now, when we say one component, like as example, here in my header, I have three headings: home page, home, about, contact. I have a three page in my website, guys. Home, about, contact. This is a home page. This is about page. This is a contact page. Now, what happened? When somebody will click on the home, okay. Guys, allow me like a 1 minute, hold on. Okay, sorry guys. Now basically the point which I'm conveying here is I have a 3 pages: home, about, and contact. Okay. Now basically what happened? Suppose somebody click on the home. Okay. Now guys, what happened? The content of the home will load in this particular layout area. Okay. Now when somebody click on about, guys, the content of home will go back and the content of about will load in this area. Now when somebody click on contact, guys, the content of about will go back and contact will load in this area. Okay. Take a simple example, guys. You have one glass. Okay. You have an empty glass. You want to drink a water. What you'll do? You put a water inside that and drink it. Now, you want to drink a milk. In a same glass, if water is there, you put out the water and put the milk inside that. Now you want to drink a cold drink, you put out the milk and you put the cold drink inside that. So what you're trying to do, you have one glass and just replacing the content according to your requirement. This is same example here. We have one layout page. We have multiple pages. Each page act like a one component. According to your requirement, you are just replacing the content in that layout page, and accordingly, you will set different structure. So what exactly do, guys? At the initial load of the application, it compile the code and load at once. Now you'll say, sir, if it load everything in the initial load, it is heavy. No, it's not heavy. If you notice one thing, guys, here, okay, I'll show you one thing here. Let's go to the website. Now notice one thing. When I am clicking on the lunch, guys, first it load the page and later it load the content. You see? First it load the page and later, so what it do? Guys, it only load the outer structure. First, it only load the outer structure and then load the content later on by calling the third party thing like from backend or API. If we don't know API, we'll talk about that also. So ultimately, they fetch the data from external source. So in other word, I'll say this is the structure is loading and content is coming after there. So basically what happened, guys, everything is already have. Just take an example again. I want to make one, say dish. I have a two option. I go to market and buy all the vegetables. And now I'm in my kitchen. Now I chop it and make it. Okay. One option is that. Second option is that suppose I want onion. I go to market, buy the onion, chop the onion. Now I in a potato, I'll go to market. I bought the potato and then chop the potato. Then again go to market and then again going back, coming back. Guys, this is how the old application, traditional applications work. By doing that, the application become heavy. So by doing that, the application become heavy because every time it have to go back and load the new content. So that is why, guys, single page application the best choice these days because it is faster, easy to load, and guys, it is easy to expand. So this is what calls single page application, that without refreshing your page, it able to change the content. And the third line say using component based structure. Guys, each page act like a component and the component will keep on. So the same so multiple components are there. And guys, we have one component inside that we have multiple more components. We'll talk about that. But this is how the React work. These are not about the React, I'll say. I'll talk about any single page application. Like it built in a React, it built in Angular or Vue or Backbone or Knockout. And there's so many frameworks, guys. Around 300 frameworks are there in the market, which means a single page application. Now, the other point come to mind is when there's so many framework in the market, then why I should choose a React? Why not something else? Guys, I'll give you a simple example. Suppose I want to buy one TV. Okay. There are multiple companies who make a TV. One TV made by Sony, one TV made by Samsung, one TV made by MI. Okay, one TV made by suppose any XYZ Chinese company or any XYZ unknown company. What you will prefer first? Which TV will prefer? Samsung, Sony, MI, or basically any third party company? Guys, everyone's first preference will be either Samsung or Sony. Correct? Popular company, correct? Everyone first preference will be Samsung or Sony. Why? Because you know their quality is good. You know the people who have built that television has ultimately have a better people there. And the most important thing is service. Tomorrow, guys, my MI TV got break. Correct. Have some issue. I have to run here and there, and I'm not really sure how good service I'll find. But I know if my Samsung TV is not working, I'll call in the night, in the morning, we have service person who will able to fix my TV. So that is what the reason, guys. There are around 300, 400 frameworks in the market, but hardly one or two is popular, and the most popular is React and Angular. But as I mentioned, guys, the Angular is little heavy as compared to React. People are not want to work on Angular. So the React becomes so popular in the market that everybody want React. And I should yesterday's survey also, 78% people are toward React in the market versus we talk about Angular only 21%. So if we see here, 78% people are towards React and hardly 21% people is toward Angular. So this is what the point is to, guys, that there's so many things are there. Somebody say, "Arey sir, won't learn Next.js." Somebody say, "I won't learn this and that." Guys, remember one thing. Might be your company want to use that, but it is not the long run. A long run horses, guys, React is a long run horse. Apart from that, you're wasting your time on learning a frameworks. Every day, our new framework came. Every next day, third day, new framework came. And next came, Salvata came, this came, that came. There's so many things in the market. Nothing sustain because they don't have a backup. Guys, in the market, the bigger company have the more money to spend to make them popular. The other things keep coming and keep going. You cannot stay with them. So the best thing anyways to learn is React. And guys, this is single page application. It's a component-based structure. There are one more concept called virtual DOM, actual DOM. We'll talk about those things in a further classes. But till this point, anyone, any question only regarding this topic, first of all, guys, take it. Again, I'm mentioning any general question, don't worry, I'll give a platform to you to ask as many questions as you have. But first of all, anyone not clear with the concept of the single page application and the component, raise hand and ask a doubt. Then we'll jump to next thing. I'll say the yesterday class video, buddy. First, as I mentioned, please take all your technical doubts, general doubts. I'll give you time. Any question till this point? Okay. Are you guys able to understand, guys? First of all, is it good, not good? Are you able to understand this thing? Very much, sir. Very clear explanation. Yes, able to understand very well. Okay, perfect. Good. Yes, sir. Very good. Okay, perfect. Can you application is not a single page application? Yeah, Amazon is not a single page application. If you go to Amazon website, and now if I suppose click on olive oil, you see the page refresh, and that's why it's slower. It's very slow as compared to Flipkart. And why they have not moved it, we don't have any answer for that. Right? That's their choice. Okay. Perfect. Now let me clear this drawing. Guys, 1 second. Let me ask them for a video link also. Okay. Next thing, guys. We don't have time to set up that application. Tomorrow I'll show you how to set up the application also. Don't worry about it. Now, one more thing like I like to discuss right now here is, so yesterday I told guys that we are going to work on the Zomato application. Okay. Guys, here in this course, apart from Zomato, we have developed 2 more applications, which is little for you guys only. First, one will be your profile websites. Okay. First of all, I'll teach you HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Oh, sorry, HTML is in Bootstrap. With that, first of all, you guys have to develop your profile website. What do you mean profile website? Guys, these days, the paper resume is an old fashion. Nowadays, if I go for an interview, I'll give my profile link. How to make the live profile link, and that will be live for lifetime. And that's too free of cost. I'll help you with that. I'll help everybody to first of all make their profile website, and then later on we'll link the projects you have developed. Okay, means everybody going to profile website. Don't worry, guys. When we start learning HTML, CSS from the Monday, we'll start with that plan. I'll tell you how to start proceeding with that day by day. is you guys have to decide one application of your choice. Whatever application you want to make, like somebody says, I want to make a Mintra or a TripAdvisor or liquor website or Farm Easy or a cake delivery. You decide your application. Okay, so point is like that. I will make Zomato and you will develop that particular application in this course. At the end of the day, you already have with you. See, as example, somebody made this Netflix. See, somebody is making a Flipkart. See, and they're all my people, guys, who develop this thing. Somebody making a liquor website. Somebody is making a lens card, like that. You decide one project. I'll share a sheet with you. When the link will change, guys, after that, I'll share a sheet with you. With there, you have to fill that what is the second project you are deciding to make. Okay. So these are two things. Now, the last thing for a day. First of all, guys, I'm going to make one repository. When I say repository, what it means? Guys, in a local, we create a folder. Correct? In the local, we create the folder. Now, the repository is basically like an online folder. The online folder that you create is basically refer as the repository. Okay. So that you guys can access the code on the daily basis, I will create it. And guys, the video link of the yesterday session, day one is there. Okay, and that's I'm adding also here, and I'm sharing one link with you. On that link, every day, all the code you will get. And obviously, when the link will change, when the paid classes will start, obviously everything will change for you. Okay. So now, first of all, let me get this link for you. Allow me like a 1 minute. Guys, if you have a GitHub account, it's great. If you don't have a GitHub account, please do that. And this is a humble request to everyone, bhai. Whatever I'm telling you today or any day, please follow that. Okay. And this is my commitment to you. If you follow this course, I can give you in writing, guys, you are not going to fail in any place in React. मैं आपको लिख के दे सकता हूं ये बात. But only point is commitment. If you are committed, I am committed for you guys. 100% commitment. You will see. Don't worry about it, guys. You will see the commitment level I'll give you. But the only thing is, you have to be committed in terms of, yes, I want to learn. I'll do my practice. I'll do my best. If you're doing your best, nobody can fail you. The only point, guys, why I'm so confident about this, because it's a very long, guys. It's not like might be for you, it's a new for React. It's been a very long for me, guys, in IT industry. I've seen the every phase of IT industry. So I'm aware, guys, how exactly things work. Again, it's not about flaunt, it's just about experience. I have a good exposure in IT industry. I've seen it well. I've seen a lot of transitions, guys, how the technologies are changing. It's been 13 years here. So yeah, that's I can commit everyone. कि इतना content करवा दूंगा. I can cover this much amount of content to you. You don't even have to open any book, or you don't even have to see any code for that. Okay. Allow me like a 1 minute. As you can ignore this thing as of now. Okay. Because the point is like that. Anyways, a part of our content. I'm gonna teach you all these commands. So don't worry about it. Okay. Now, the link which I'm sharing with you guys is the only link you have to bookmark right now. On this link, how can access the content? Also, I'll tell you guys. Allow me like a 1 minute. I'm sharing this link with everyone. Okay. Guys, I've shared one link with everyone. First, see here. When you open this link, you see the extra file today. When you click on extra file, you can see all the thing I mentioned here. Okay. So easy for you now to track, and going forward also, everything will be available to you. Video link also, definition also, course content also, links also, everything is here. Okay. Perfect. Now guys, I should open the platform for you guys to take it out. If you have a doubt, you can stay and listen. If you have some other work, you can, if you want to leave, that also you can do that. But yes, same time tomorrow. And the tomorrow topic is set up the React application and at least start creating, running the React application. Okay. That's a topic for tomorrow.